It's Mike Daffy checking in from Don't Get Hacked Cybersecurity. I had to send out a couple Christmas videos, so hence the Santa hat, Grinch shirt on. So this channel's called Don't Get Hacked, Call Me for Help. So what do? We have business owners contacting us 365 days a year, asking us to solve their technology issues. And most of the job is put a smile on your face, customer service, because my first question is going to be, when's the last time you rebooted it, turned it off, rebooted it, unplugged it? If something's not working, when's the last time you rebooted it, unplugged it? All right? Send me photos. Please text me photos of what it looks like, because English is not everybody's first language, and sometimes people are hiding up the fact that they broke something, or they're trying to make it sound not as bad as it is. So what happened? When's the last time it was working? Sorry, that's my dogs in the back. My dogs are growling at each other. Hey, good evening. Oh, hey, hello, Florida. Hello from Nevada. So I'm just talking about, we had somebody contact us today about their printer not working, but it worked fine on Friday. But today's Monday, it's not working. We've done remote troubleshooting. I've sent a technician out to the office, and I'm like, is the problem with the technology the end user? Or is there something else? Because my technicians have gone on site and have not been able to solve the problem. They've timed out print jobs, etc. It's a Windows 11 computer. It's like a 2-year-old printer. And, I always have the same questions when I'm talking to somebody. When's the last time it worked? Have you unplugged it? Have you rebooted it? And send me photos, because if I'm not there, I can't prove you're giving the proper information. So, when's the last time you used it? When's the last time it worked? Have you unplugged and rebooted it? Because we know if it's plugged in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 300. I was actually recommending to her that at the end of the day on Friday, they just turn off and unplug all their equipment, and then plug it all back in when they get into the office on Monday, because then we know that they're in an old building in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. The wiring is old in there, and I'm betting that they're not using any type of surge protector or uninterruptible power supply. So when you're dealing with electronics, technology, and power, everything's a computer. Everything's got microchips in it. Everything is very susceptible. Not susceptible to power related issues. When you plug technology into the wall socket, it's requesting 120, 110, 120 volts. Does not mean the power coming out of that wall socket's always going to be consistent, especially with it's December in Canada. There's a bunch of snow on the ground. You're going to have issues with low voltage, high voltage. There's like I've gone through a lot of power training, especially with APC, Schneider Electric, who makes those battery backups. And there's 12 power-related issues that can affect any of your technology that is plugged into a wall socket. So knowing that there's such temperamental power out there, we always suggest surge bars and or uninterruptible power supplies, because at least they'll do some conditioning on the power in case the power goes out or dips or goes too high or whatever. The UPS will condition the power going to your devices, so because let's face it, if the power is too low or too high, if there's nothing filtering your power going to your computer, going to your printer, going to your internet modem, going to your Wi-Fi, how are those things being affected, right? It's like driving a vehicle with low voltage on the battery. You're gonna have dim lights. It may turn off randomly on you. You're just gonna have random issues. Like when I had fleet vehicles, the technicians would say, hey, the vehicle doesn't work, or it's inconsistent starting. And I'm like, well, have you been under the hood anytime recently? And they're like, no. And I'm like, go check the battery terminals, the positive and negative terminal on the battery. Because if they're loose or they're rusty or they got that corrosion on them, you're going to have inconsistent power in your vehicle. And it's not going to get the power it requires from the battery, and you're going to have inconsistent problems. Well, how do you know all this stuff, Mike? I'm like, because I'm an adult and I've gone through a lot of vehicles and a lot of computers. And since we fix, the more things you have in your life, the more maintenance is going to be required. And as an adult, you have to learn, as a user, you may not be 18 yet. As a user, you have to learn how to take care of the stuff that you buy. You might still break it accidentally, unfortunately, whatever. But if you know how to take care of it and fix it, you can fix it. Same goes with electronics. So we want to make sure that if you're using a computer, an iPhone, an iPad, an Android device, whatever, you know where your data is being stored. You know if you're using cloud services. You know if there's anything important to back up, that you're backing that stuff up just in case something crashes or you get lost. So we get a backup, right? So the more things you own in your life, the more maintenance you're going to learn is required for those things in your life. You know, you get married, you understand the maintenance required in a relationship. You have kids, well, kids need a lot of maintenance. There's a lot of things, pets. I've got 3 dogs sitting here in the back seat. Dogs require water, food, 4, 5, 6 walks per day, play with them. If not, they get growly. That's my border collie in the backseat growling because I came out to play with him. But I had to record a couple Christmas videos and send them off to people, so you can hear him growling in the back. So anyway, today's Monday. I hope you're having your holidays are going smooth. If you're traveling, I hope the travel plans go well. If you've had Christmas parties, I hope there's okay, stop growling, dude. Stop growling. Anyway, user called in with a printer issue, and I was like, okay, when's the last time? She's been calling in for weeks, and we've done both remote troubleshooting, we've done on-site troubleshooting, and I've recommended they get a backup printer just to see if a new printer solves their printing issues, or if it comes down to the computer or something in the environment, right? And it's like, well, why would it work fine on Friday and not fine on Monday? I'm like, because it's been plugged in all weekend, and maybe there was a storm, maybe there was a power issue. I don't know. My first question I'm going to have for you, if you call Don't Get Hacked Cybersecurity for your technology support, when's the last time it worked well? When's the last time it worked properly? When's the last time you unplugged it and plugged it back in? And I'm not meaning pressing the power button, because the power button usually doesn't actually turn anything off, and it does not disconnect the power from the motherboard or the circuitry in that technology device. Hey, stop it. Hey. Power button doesn't actually turn things off. They're still running on power. So in order to reboot something properly, you gotta unplug the power for a minute, plug it back in. So when's the last time your printer worked well? When's the last time your technology device worked well? And when's the last time you actually turned it off and turned back on? Because let's face it, electronics are electronics. They have chips in them. Chips have to do the processing. And if they're stuck in a loop, or stuck with a software update, or just dealing with shit power, they're not going to work properly. And that's just how it goes. The only other question I usually ask people is when's the last time they backed up their data, right? But usually, the end user called today with a printer issue. After about 45 minutes on the phone, she's actually on WhatsApp, texting me. She called me on WhatsApp. I didn't see it. Then I started texting her. I'm like, hey, what's going on? She's like, the effing printer doesn't work again. And I'm like, oh, okay, when's it work? Well, she's like, oh, it's got to be the computer. I'm like, I don't think the printer issue is the computer. I think it is the fact that maybe you're printing too much on it. Maybe, I know the printer's only like 3 years old. Maybe it's worn out. Maybe, my last suggestion was maybe it's time for a new printer. So anyway, they've paid the last diagnostic invoice. They have not ordered a printer. So the first, I don't get hacked cybersecurity. We pride ourselves in proper customer service, proper diagnostics, and we don't want to charge you for something if we can teach you to fix it yourself, because I want good reviews. I want good word of mouth referrals, and you get good word of mouth referrals and references when you empower your end users to fix the stuff themselves, or to at least give them guidelines to say, hey, when we have this problem, Mike says, think about it. When's the last time it worked? Well, today's a Monday, so the last time we printed was Friday. So what happened during the weekend? Well, we weren't here. So maybe there's a power issue, power glitch with the printer, whatever. Unplug the printer, plug it back in, turn the computer off, unplug the computer, plug the computer back in, turn it back on. Just doing those power resets will reset the device. And if you still have a problem, then we know it's something else is the problem. 45 minutes of me stepping her through that stuff, she got it to work. So I then went back to we've been troubleshooting this printer at this office in Calgary for like 5 weeks. And I literally just keep giving them the same advice. I'm like, hey, after rebooting the printer, after me sending a technician on site and doing all the maintenance operations, this printer works. However, maybe it doesn't like being turned on all the time. Maybe it has a sleep mode, and going into sleep mode, it's not waking up, and it takes half an hour to wake up. I don't know why the printer is causing you a problem, but my first recommendation is to bring another printer into the environment and test that printer out to see if you get the same results with a new printer as the old printer. So thanks for tuning into my live today. I fell off the going live bandwagon when I got stuck in Joshua Tree Park in California last Sunday, and we had to dig ourselves out on Monday and Tuesday. So I was offline for like 48 hours. I do have some video, so I was gonna stitch the video and the photos together and post that on the YouTube channel, but I gotta sit down in front of the video editor and do that. But we got stuck in Joshua Tree Park. So I think Sunday last weekend I did a live. We were just hooking up and leaving LA, and we're gonna go to Joshua Tree Park. And then as soon as we pulled into Joshua Tree Park, if you don't know, it's a desert, it's all sand. We actually got stuck in the sand, and then it got dark, and out there's no lights. So when it gets dark, it's pitch black. And we're like, hey, do we try to keep digging ourselves out on a Sunday night, or do we just try this on Monday? And then Monday turned into Tuesday. But what we learned on Monday was that, and the truck was like bottom, it was, even my trailer hitch and my exhaust pipe were in the sand. So we had dug ourselves all the way into the sand, and pretty much what you would call bottoming out. We had bottomed out in the sand. So we figured we could disconnect the trailer and fill in the hole with bushes and rocks and sand, and then drive over it, pat it down, and then rehook up the trailer, and then drive maybe 2-3 feet before we got stuck again. So that was the insanity on the Monday. It's like, hey, we dug ourselves out, got a little bit further, dug a new hole, and it was just like this repeating cycle on Monday. And then Monday night, as soon as it got dark, we stopped because we didn't want to injure ourselves. We got lights, but we can't really see what you're doing. And then I was like, I told my wife, I'm like, as we were driving ourselves forward slowly, we were trying to turn around, and I'm like, you know what, I think what we need to really do to escape from Joshua Tree Park is to go straight as fast as possible. And if we can go straight and go a couple meters straight, then we can slowly start we're just going to drive through the desert and then get to the next road. And that's the strategy that worked on Tuesday. But on Tuesday morning, what we really had to do was get up, fill in the last holes we made on mine, because my truck's 4x4, right? But all all the wheels were spinning in sand and making holes. So we literally had to disconnect the trailer, get ourselves out of that situation, fill in the road, and then keep on going. So on Tuesday, I think we got out of there at like 11. So 8, 9, 10, like 4 hours, maybe 4 or 5 hours on Tuesday. And what we figured out was we had to make our own road out of Joshua Tree Park. So what we ended up doing was visualizing that we had to go straight, and as soon as we got speed, we could start turning. So we dug the trailer tires out of the sand. We went and flattened out the desert as much as possible. We had to chop down some bushes. We had to get rid of some anthills. When you're driving and hauling a trailer, you want this road to be smooth. The desert's not exactly smooth. There's going to be bumps and just, rocky terrain the whole way. So we had to go and envision the road we wanted to make out of Joshua Tree, and then go as fast as possible straight and start turning. So we just kind of visualized that route, and then we had to go chop down some bushes. Sorry, Joshua Tree Park. We had to chop down bushes and flatten out the road, get rid of big rocks, etc., etc., and we got out. We made it back to Vegas. We got out of Joshua Tree. We made it back to Vegas, and then we came out to this spot, which is like we've just been bouncing between BLM land, Bureau of Land Management land. We're not Americans, we're Canadians, but of course when you're with the trailer, you're like, hey, you can go to an RV park, you can go out in the middle of the woods. We found out about this Bureau of Land Management land. So there's a bunch in Nevada, there's a bunch in Utah, there's a bunch in California, Arizona. We could start heading east and going and sitting on beaches on the Gulf Coast. So that's another option. But anyway, Joshua Tree is BLM land, Bureau of Land Management land. And so we did escape it on Tuesday, drove back to Vegas because we had something to do in Vegas on Tuesday. And then we came out to this spot. We've been here before. It's about an hour northeast of Vegas. And we got out here, and I realized the suspension on my trailer was snapped. And we don't know when that happened, so we don't know if that happened in Joshua Tree Park when we were trying to get out of that sand pile, if it snapped, whatever. Doesn't matter how to be done. So I took videos of me doing it because I had to go on Saturday, my birthday. I had to go to a couple stores. I had to go to trailer parts store to get some new leaf springs and some new bolts. And then I needed a impact wrench. And so yesterday yesterday was Sunday. So I spent all day cutting out getting the leaf springs unmounted from the trailer and putting the new leaf springs on. So I took pictures and video of that because I want to show what we escaped in Joshua Tree Park, and then the repairs required. And we haven't hauled the trailer since I put the leaf springs on yesterday, so I need to verify I did a proper job on that. But anyway, it's Monday. Technology call that came in today was the printer wasn't working, and we stepped that user through that in 30 to 45 minutes. I've got some other troubleshooting to go do, but I had a couple of Christmas videos requested, and I'm like, hey, I should go do my Facebook and my YouTube live stuff. So anyway, thanks for checking in on the YouTube live, and it's Monday, so the goal for the rest of the week is to do a live every single day and document the technology service calls that we get per day. I still have to order a new MacBook for my wife, and once I got a new get her transferred over to that, and then the MacBook that she dropped out here in the desert and cracked the screen on, I still got to order a replacement part for that. But not having a physical address here in Las Vegas, I was like, where do I ship stuff to? So I did one order on Amazon. You can't send everything to an Amazon locker. I know some people do that, to send stuff to Amazon lockers, but there's restrictions on that. The item has to be sold by Amazon. And when I was trying to order suspension parts on Friday, I realized I couldn't ship them to a locker, so that's why I went into town to buy suspension parts. But I've got a couple things coming into an Amazon locker tomorrow. So I got to go into the city anyway, and then I'll go find her a laptop and then document moving her from... I want a document showing you how to replace a screen on a broken... We've got a 2020 M1 MacBook Air that was dropped and the screen's busted on it. So we always have backup computers with us. So my wife's currently using a 2019 MacBook Air and struggling with it because it's got some issues. It's her old one. It's got some issues. That's why she had the new one. But this is what happens with technology. You use something in your business. You use something for home use. You use something in your business. It gets you from point A to point B. Something goes wrong with it or whatever, and then you got to figure out your strategy going forward. Do you get a new device and then go back and fix the old one and have the old one as a backup? Anyway, my viewers are gone. I will see you tomorrow. And YouTube tells me to do these at like 9 to 10 a.m. and today I'm doing it at 2:30 p.m. But thanks for watching, and like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you tomorrow. And I got 3 viewers again. Like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you tomorrow.